Hi there, welcome to the Rollback. I'm Eddie, and today we're going to be talking about Gladiator II, aka, yes, we are definitely entertained. Years after witnessing the death of Maximus at the hands of his uncle, Lucius must enter the Colosseum after the powerful emperors of Rome conquer his home. With the rage in his heart and the future of the empire at stake, he looks to the past to find strength and the order needed to return Rome to its rightful glory. Now, as a man with rage issues, I must make this clear, I really like Lucius. Lucius. Him. While a lot of other films often feel like they rely on CGI way too much to a point where it makes the film feel small, this film feels grand in scale. This movie feels massive. It feels like a journey for our characters, and credit to Ridley Scott and this cast. In less than 3 hours, this feels like an all-consuming story with colorful characters that we can remember, but most namely, our lead, Lucius, played by Paul Mescal. Masterfully, by the way. Denzel is no slouch though. He puts in a shift as Marcus, a former slave, now turns stable master, slave owner, entrepreneur, and potentially a future emperor of Rome. Connie Nielsen and Pedro Pascal are also great in this film, which I think this might be a testament. I forgot Pedro Pascal was in this film by the time the movie wrapped up. They pull a psycho in this one. He does not live throughout the whole film. I'll say that much. Now, let's not only discuss this film's 5-star cast, let's discuss its themes, its stories, and its lasting effect. And let's start with something I recently saw. There was an online discourse stating that Gladiator II is bad because it's a war on masculinity, which, look, I'm not trying that this film is the most manly film ever made or anything like that. And being masculine is not necessarily a bad thing, but there's such a thing as toxic masculinity. That said, I think it's fair to say that this film is very much a period piece and trying to be a story about revenge for a loved one, although along the way realizing that sometimes we too need to look further into who we are and find the ability to forgive someone and understand what is causing this problem, what is the root, what is harder, but ultimately doing the right thing. Lucius wants to kill the general who attacked and ultimately killed his wife at the start of the film. His rage powers him into being in a position where he can take that revenge, but ultimately, he chooses not to. He's owned by Marcus, who happens upon a very powerful pawn in his bid to rule the kingdom, or to take over Rome. From slave to emperor, there's a plot to overthrow the twin Mad Kings, but it's foiled and results in Lucius having the chance at his revenge. Lucius refuses because he now sees that the problem is not the one man, but the entire system that heeds to the particular whims of a Mad King. Gee, isn't that topical? When the system is the problem, Lucius sees he must break it. Although it is his birthright to rule Rome, he wishes to see it revert back into a republic where people can vote and elect their leaders. There's an old saying that those who do not want power are most deserving because they'll respect the responsibility they are now burdened with. Besides the idea of letting go of revenge, there is this noble idea of forging your own path once you are set free. While some choose to use their past experience as a way to progress forward, have empathy, and help others use it as fuel to rise up the ranks. Denzel is incredible as a puppet master in this film, and I would even argue he would have won if he was not in his advanced age. I can only imagine Denzel in his prime, or I guess the character Marcus in his prime, would have been able to beat Lucius in that final battle. Spoilers. I can only imagine he would have killed Lucius in their final encounter. Playing multiple factions against one another is complicated, but it can also be rather boring. Ridley Scott, he is really very good at making the story be as clear as possible while still giving us some great action set pieces. Particularly the scene in the Colosseum with the boats and the sharks and all that actually happened. But I can't recall ever seeing it in a film before. But we have it now. Watching the collapse of Rome was fun. The inspirational speech at the end, while not exactly breaking new ground, I would still argue is relevant today. It's a movie with a beating heart, and I respect that. Some have said it's too similar to the original, and I could see where they're coming from. It has big shoes to fill, to quote someone else. Russell Crowe leaves some massive sandals to fill, and we've definitely treaded this ground before, but that doesn't mean there isn't another great story to be revisited, and even build upon that. There's supposedly a sequel already being worked on, and if that's the case, Mr. Scott, please continue to cook. After all, you always won for the pile of crap that was Napoleon. I'm just saying. Personally, for me, this film is going to be a 7 out of 10. Really good. As good as the original? I don't think so, but maybe on some rewatch. We'll see. I've only seen it once so far. That said, what did you think of Gladiator II: The Rise of Maximus Jr.? Let us know down below, we'd really appreciate it, and we'll catch you all next time. We'll see everybody.